I'd been in sales previously at Johnson & Johnson, but never had to hunt, quote unquote. And when I went out on my own last October, it was kind of a whole new world and wanted the challenge, but had thankfully been turned on to Matt's book by a friend, Becoming a Rainmaker, and had read that and resonated with it. It pushed me out of my comfort zone, and at the same time, it seemed reasonable, not salesy. And that kind of drove me to want to look a little bit deeper, and eventually decided having a coach made sense when I used to play sports. And so it probably made sense in my professional career as well. A big part of it is the culture. Being around other people that are pushing themselves has been the biggest piece so far. Being in different branches, you are surrounded by a lot of people that don't pick up the phone, don't call anybody, don't meet with their own clients, don't take it seriously, aren't in the office. That's everywhere. And so you have to self-motivate, but I'm not sure I totally believe in that. I think you have to be a self-starter, but being surrounded by like-minded people, or at least having access to them, is very helpful. And so knowing that there's another world that wants to be better for the people they take care of is helpful on a day-to-day basis. And outside of that, I think putting some simple structures around your day, what you're doing for clients, what you're doing with prospecting, has been a huge lift for me and for my practice and for my clients at the end of the day. I would actually say the redirect has been a big step for me. And I was just taking a note in the meeting that I've gotten better at asking why questions, who questions, how questions. And I find that my conversations with folks more and more are centered around me just asking. It's becoming organic, it's becoming natural, where I'm asking them those questions and then they talk, and then I learn a ton about them. And then at the end of it, they'll even say things like they feel like they really got to know me, even though I didn't talk, so they don't know anything about me. And understanding that those relationships could become business, but they might just be relationships, and that both are okay. And being able to enjoy getting to know people. But it's neat to know that you actually, there's not really a magic question or magic trick that makes people want to do business with you. It's letting them talk about them and getting to know more about them. I would say the biggest piece of it has been building a pipeline so far. And then I have a couple family offices that I've been working with and on, and there's actually been some progress there where it stalled for a little while. And just having some accountability with continuing to move people through a pipeline, to continue to engage them pleasantly, politely, and not always about business, but to stay around, and then being involved in the group and knowing that other people have seen those results come from that has been enough motivation to keep it going. And so I'm still early in the process. My coach targets 120 days for from beginning to end, and it depends on the relationship how that goes. But I'm not even to 120 days yet, but I can already see that I have a better feel for where my practice is going, and a higher confidence that it will get there just by having that be organized rather than from the hip. It has been almost overwhelmingly good. I really was unsure what to expect at first. I'm very much a relationship person, and thankfully, he connected me to a couple clients that he'd worked with previously, and is still working with, and was able to talk with them and get their feedback, and it was all very positive. And so decided to go through with it, and we've gotten to know each other better over time. The calls are an hour long, and so they kind of stick to business. But what's been overwhelming is his responsiveness to questions that I have. And early on, having once upon a time been an athlete, those days are gone, but having played baseball, you have your swing coach. We had a team psychologist when I was in college that would help you work through mental hurdles, and I thought that would probably be the lift. I wasn't sure how much I would value that or how easy it would be to access that. But just as an example, I had called my coach about an interesting situation I was unfamiliar with last Thursday, and he calls me back at 6 a.m. California time, walking the beach while on vacation, just to make sure he got back with me and talked about it. And that means a lot. That's going above and beyond. That's more than I would expect. But my experience has been unbelievable from that capacity. It's advisors, but also CPAs, attorneys, public accountants, anyone who needs to bring in affluent relationships